Alright, what's up guys? This is Tom Burkhardt from car-revs Daily, going out for a drive review in the 2020 Cadillac XT6. This is a really cool truck, brand new. I'd never seen one on the road until I had the pleasure of testing it for you guys. And it is a sharp looking machine. Very good looking new nose that is going to populate the rest of Cadillac's range in the next couple years. With, instead of vertically oriented headlamps, they're just little horizontal slits. But we still have vertical LED daytime running lights, as well as LEDs that the DRLs actually flip to amber and look like, actually they look really good, versus some of the previous executions were a little lackluster. So I mean, the car is sharp, it looks so good. So let's talk about what the XT6 is, what it competes with, and then we're going to and throughout that we're going to see how it handles. So this is a 3-row crossover based on well, what I thought was based on like the Enclave and the Traverse platform, but it's not, and it's actually a pretty unique thing, and it's what I've been calling the Escalade Sport this week. The XT6 name was of course new to you know, it's new as a badge, so Escalade Sport kind of is a little tongue-in-cheek, but it also kind of is relevant to this vehicle because we've got so much cool stuff. It handles really well, it's extremely Euro tuned, and I don't know, it's got a little silly. Okay, so let's actually put it in sport mode. We'll see if it'll do a launch start. We'll see how it does. So this vehicle stickers from, it's getting there. XT6 stickers from $54,000, and comes standard with just one engine option to start, which is the 3.6 liter V6, making 310 horsepower at I think 6,600 RPM, and then 271 foot-pounds of torque at about 5,000 RPM. So very familiar with this engine from its outings in the Enclave, which we loved the other week and got to review. Loved its magic carpet ride and its overall its overall essence was really pleasant. So this vehicle shares that exceptional 9-speed automatic transmission and the engine with Enclave. So this 9-speed automatic is fantastic, and it's and with a much smaller vehicle, this car is about an 8-inch shorter wheelbase. I'm so excited. I gotta calm down and get my thoughts together. Well, it has like about a 7 or 8 inch shorter wheelbase than Enclave, so it's a smaller car. It weighs a little bit less, so with this same engine, the sprint pace is really good. I know it doesn't seem like, you know, it might not seem shockingly fast on video, but it's about 6.7 to 6.8 seconds, which feels very rapid, and combined with the rest of the vehicle's essence, is just really reinforces how sporty and premium and Euro-tuned this car really is. So major competitors for XT6 are vehicles like the Audi Q7 and the Volvo XC90, as well as, like, you know, MDX, RXL, you know, any premium 3-row crossover is right in XT6 is sights. And this is the perfect car for right now. I mean, it's just, the segment is just exploding. Like, you'd think, like, how can any vehicle segment support 25, 30 potential competitors, including mainstream and premium models? But, and it really does make you wonder. But with these 3-row 6 and 7-seater or 6 to 8-seater vehicles that are based on cars, I mean, the market just keeps expanding and keeps expanding. So the sales, even though there's so many different market entrants, as the good ones come in, I mean, they're each earning very respectable sales. This is the perfect segment for Cadillac to be in, as they've sort of reestablished themselves over the last couple of years. And but it is competitive, you know, particularly for this for the premium segment, where BMW just launched the X7, which is a bigger vehicle than this and has a much bigger sticker price, but is about the same, and you know, in terms of its offering to owners, which is like a pretty tight 3rd row and a really good 2nd row. Okay, so So those are some major competitors. I mean, if you had to pick one vehicle that this car really benchmarked, it was the XC90. And some of the traits of the XC90 that make it so enticing as a vehicle to emulate and try to beat are its great style, the awesome cabin, sort of like you know, calm and safe image, and overall just excellence. So Cadillac has really tried to make this XT6 competitive with that car in every way, and they've really achieved it. XT6 drives so European. Hopefully I don't say European too many more times. That's my third time saying it on this review. But hopefully I don't say it too many times. But shift on the paddles here, get into third. I mean, the steering feel, the cabin rigidity, all of the build quality feels outstanding. It's some of the best I've ever felt from any American car ever, and definitely the best ever from Cadillac. So these are all really good things. So going back for a second, so we started about $54,000. This car comes in two trim levels. So there's Premium Luxury and then there's Sport. And Premium Luxury you can get with the base front wheel drive, and Sport comes standard with the all-wheel drive. So this is the Premium Luxury with all-wheel drive, as well as basically every option, including the Platinum package, safety package, night vision, seating and comfort to take it from a 3-row middle seat to buckets in the second row. An optional lighting upgrade. I mean, this car absolutely has the works. So the biggest differences between the Premium Luxury and the Sport are going to be the appearance outside. So it's the Sport drops a lot of the sort of like what they call like galvano. It's sort of like a pewter effect for the metallic trims, like the window surround and the roof rails, and a couple accents in the lower doors and the bumpers. So those all become gloss black or body color for the Sport, and it also gets a different grille. Cadillac finally really gets it in terms of like offering personalization of the style. I mean, I think there are 5 different grilles offered in this vehicle. So there's 3 different like full designs, and then you can also get the cool design that we have on this Premium Luxury Platinum. You can get in with a bright chrome surround, or you can get it with a gloss black surround. And then the Sport itself comes with a much darker grille overall. There's no bright work in there at all. And then the 5th option is what they call like the Radiance package, which brings back some of the bling, and takes that Galvano sort of like brushed alloy look and makes it bright again. So it's like a full chrome basically. So if there's one thing to take away from this review, it's that the XT6 is so configurable that you really should consider all the different like style and equipment options, because there's like a perfect one. But this Premium Luxury with the Platinum package is basically it's like the Sport, which comes with a Sport tuned suspension, but you need the Platinum package to get that on this vehicle, on the Premium Luxury. So with that Platinum package comes semi-aniline seats. This leather is like some of the softest ever. It's amazing for all 3 rows. Everything, a whole dash, I mean, is either like microfiber or the super soft leather. It also comes with a hyper suede headliner, like Alcantara headliner for the Platinum package. And then we bring a performance tune for the suspension, which comes from the Sport. And then in addition to that, the Platinum gets a couple other goodies, the biggest one being the continuously variable suspension. So this is a suspension that has like full variability in how firm it can be, and then it also has a dedicated Sport mode, which is what we're in right now. We're running a little low on gas. That's what you might have heard the beeping. I should have gotten gas before coming out. But okay, so those are some of the options, and then like configurations that you can get. I would absolutely go for the Sport, like any day of the week. I'm curious to try the regular XT6 without this, what they call the performance suspension, and then the adaptive suspension. So basically it comes with the Platinum or the Sport. You're getting a firmer suspension overall, but it's adjustable, so it can be softer at times or even firmer than the base configuration. of the performance suspension. What I'm curious to see is how smoothly the standard Premium Luxury rides, because I mean the Enclave set a really high bar for overall comfort, and this car is definitely a lot firmer than that. It's a lot more rewarding than that too. Steering feel is sublime. Driving position is really good. Feels better than those big trucks. Feels a lot more nimble than the Enclave, and of course Escalade and any body on frame SUV. I mean, this is a light, easy car to drive, easy to park, and it's just overall, it's just very clearly a car versus those trucks. So it drives great. It drives excellent. In addition to like new style and being in the right market segment at the right time, with just about the right price, Cadillac has also gone like full future-proof in terms of their cabin technology. So what does that mean? So we have like things like the video rearview mirror is really cool. I mean, it's just like it seems gimmicky, and you have to get used to it, but it works even at night. I mean, it just provides an ultra clear view of everything that's behind you. We've got night vision on this car, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I'm looking at Google Maps right now in Apple CarPlay. But as well as those integrations, you've got next-gen wireless 15 watt charging. You got near field compatibility connections enabled, as well as like really smart like cubby. You know, this is like a cubby for your phone. That's also the wireless charging area. I mean, just the tech integration seems great. It seems really, really good. And this also is a showcase for Cadillac's next-gen Q Infotainment System. So standard 8-inch display screen with of course standard CarPlay and Android Auto, replacing what would be the need for standard navigation. So you don't get standard nav on this car. You have to upgrade to that. But this is their next-gen system, so in addition to being fully touchscreen, we've also got this rotary dial, which I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a rotary dial that lets you control things, and then also has like what they call jog, so you can use it like a joystick, which is really handy. Like, touchscreens are great until you start using CarPlay or Android Auto a lot, and then it's just better with a rotary knob. It's just better with a control knob type interface, which is cool. The rest of the tech and the vehicle just seems really easy to operate versus like some of these first generation Caddies. It was just hard to, some of the things were just confusing and hard to use, whereas this is all really intuitive, user friendly, and it's just a peach. So in addition to going all in on like future-proofing the safety stuff for phone connectivity and entertainment, this is also a super aggressive application of all the latest safety technology. I mean, this has everything. It has lane keep, automatic parking where it can get the space for you and pull you in either horizontally or either perpendicularly or parallel parking. What else? It's got automatic braking when you're backing up. It's got that night vision with pedestrian and animal detection. I mean, there's so much. It's like too much to list. But it all just really works really well and works really seamlessly and is very well integrated into the overall drive. It's not nothing that's like too annoying. And mercifully, you can engage the active cruise control and the lane keep separately, which was like a pet peeve of mine on the Palisade the other week, is that you couldn't engage those individually. They both, if you wanted to do active cruise, then you had to have active lane keep, I think. I mean, prove me wrong, but which is just needlessly annoying, and it'll lead you to using the active cruise less. This active cruise is not I mean, it's great, but it's not as good in traffic at like keeping a really tight gap and just being like flawless enough that nobody is cutting you off every time. But I mean, it is very, very good. It's ultra smooth. I mean, you can't say enough about the overall refinement and rigidity and the feeling of solidity driving this car. I mean, it's just absolutely, it feels like a tank, but a really lightweight tank, like an maybe an airdrop tank. Reach the end of the road here. It feels so solid. So all of that stuff is exceptional. Oh yeah, I mean, the camera system is superb. I mean, you could choose all your views. It's just excellent. It's just excellent in so many ways. So, I really didn't want to start this review talking about like what chassis this was based on, or like what, where in the GM portfolio this came from, because as a whole, this XT6 has so many unique, there's so much uniqueness in its design and technology and handling that it's legitimately an all-new vehicle. But if you really want to trace like some of its origins, it's not based on the biggest crossovers they've got, like the Enclave and Traverse. It's based on the GMC Acadia. But so we have like a pretty similar wheelbase, like within I think a tenth of an inch versus Acadia. But it's about 2 inches wider than Acadia, and about 5 to maybe 7 inches longer in total. Because of course Acadia for this generation is just a 5-seater, and in this vehicle we do have that third row of seating. Is there anywhere that that XT6 is down on size or capability versus Enclave, and which is like one of the biggest non-truck based, I think is the biggest non-truck based crossover ever, at least on the market right now. So there are a couple places where it takes a couple dings, but granted, I mean, the benefits are there too, so you have to weigh that. So being a lot shorter than those vehicles is handy in town, and is just and makes it feel and drive a lot nimbler and more precise and European. So those things are good, but you're going to take a hit in overall cargo capacity. So instead of like being like 90 plus cubic feet of space with all the seats down, XT6 maxes out at about in sport mode with the all-wheel drive locked. I mean, this drivetrain is outstanding. It's awesome. So this maxes out at about like 78 or 79 cubic feet with all the seats folded. So down about 10 to 12 versus the biggest available, and then down about like 15 to 18 versus like a Tahoe or like the Escalade, the short Escalade. Another place where it's different versus those vehicles is second row. Surprisingly, XT6 has a little bit more second row legroom than is available in the Enclave. I think it's about 1/3 of an inch. It's not much, but I mean, it just really proves how premium and upscale this second row is in XT6. But the third row is tighter. It's tighter than it is in those other vehicles. It's basically 2 across instead of being a full 3 across. So with captain's chairs in the second row, you're at like a 6-person seating capacity, and down a couple inches of legroom versus Enclave. And we're back. One of the most delightful features of this GoPro Hero 6, which I absolutely want to crush right now, is that in addition to having really bad audio without an external mic, it overheats. It overheats and just craps out. So, anyway, sorry about that. So I don't really know where it crapped out, but let's pick up, relatively nearby. So basically some differences versus the biggest car-based crossovers and then truck-based crossovers. Okay, so we're down about like 10 to 12 cubic feet versus the Enclave, and then down about 15 cubic feet with all the seats down versus like Escalade and Tahoe and Yukon, the short version. And the second row is pretty cool. It's got a little bit more space than Enclave. Very, very impressive. And then the third row, because it's only 2 across instead of 3 across, is down a bunch of shoulder and hip room. So it's tighter back there in the third row, and it also is down like a little bit in legroom versus the other guys. But I mean, the benefits are you get a nimbler vehicle, a car that's easier to drive, more efficient, and is really just like 95% as capable without being just a behemoth. So these are all pretty good things, and that third row is very, very competitive with Q7 and XT90, who both have like ridiculously tiny third rows. So XT6 is not like super tiny, but it'll definitely fit in like the click on the smaller side for that third row. You can still fit real humans back there, not just children, but you know, real adults, I mean, but maybe not for like a long drive. So, alrighty, XT6, I mean, 2 thumbs up. This car is great. It's really, really shockingly good, shockingly sexy and good looking. I mean, it's got everything going for it, except for maybe the as tested price. So with all this stuff, our tester comes in at like $71,000, which is high. But I mean, you got to think the Chevy Blazer with like with nav is like 56 or something. So this is just the world we live in. And of course, you know, Q7 and XC90 both get very, very expensive very fast. So for being competitive in the right place at the right time, looking great doing it, driving amazingly well, super European in feel, the XT6 is a winner. Go check it out. Go drive this car, and you're gonna love it. All right, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.